Greetings, fellow astronauts. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to the final episode of Stationeers. Episode 19. The final touches for the Mimas station. Okay, my suit's all set. Let's go outside and add that drain that I threw on the ground. Let's add that drain to the system so that we don't end up with any ruptures. It's at least very easy to set up. So my my coolant is here, and for us to drain it, we can drain on really any of these pipes. So passive liquid drain allows you to just spray water out of the system. So I'll just drain it here, and you'll see the stress and liquid NOS go down, so that we don't blow up or rupture our pipes. And it doesn't let gas out, only water out. How does it work? I don't know, but it does. So we added, melting that ice added more moles of nitrogen for this system, but like it's not really worth it if I risk rupture. So I'll just keep capturing gas. I did, however, want to run more water into the chamber. So I turned on my condensation chamber, so I can make more water. Which means turning on the coolant loop. So we're making water again. Let's keep that gas mixer on. So I'm going to go inside so we don't run out of fuel to turn into water. Hi, son. Yeah, you can see the transformers flicking on and off, saying, yo, I got some solar. I didn't go find that silver, but I will. And for whatever reason, my logic is like messed up, so it turns on multiple times, but as long as I physically turn off this volume pump, it will turn back on when it's appropriate. For some reason or another, it trips initially. I think it like hits the zero pressure on its way up. So it's not doing exactly what it should be. But as long as I override it, it's fine. It's broken, but in a way I can manage. Maybe that's a better way to put it. All right. So obviously there's not going to be water added to this over here because this is after the turbo pumps for when we've temperature treated the water. So the current priority right now is make more water and mine silver. And this might be the last things I work on in the stream, as we are, heading towards hour 13. So I've got 19 and 13. I need more volatils in my system. Good, because I have plenty. And this is flashing because it doesn't have enough water available to refill. These filters are at 80, high 80, or yeah, high 80s, so I don't need to worry about that. So the nitrogen, or the volatiles should be repressurizing soon. And I'll just feed more vols to it. There is some stress here. One of the ways to deal with the stress is to just uninstall the pipes and like delete it. But I'm not that close to rupture yet from the N2O that liquefied. So the N2O, if we want to know the nitrous oxides, it's mostly going to be in a liquid and not a gas, as you can see, which is why it's pissy. Right? This is the phase chart. So that's why it's been a bother. Because it doesn't really... its gaseous form is outside of the norms for my system. Maybe is the better way to put it. But it's fine. As long as this doesn't get overstressed, it will eventually end up in this pipe network as a liquid and then squirt it out in that valve there. So it's not a problem as long as I don't overload the system with nitrous, which now that I've done that, I won't do again. So the stress is back into like tolerable levels for this, for that, for this. That's just pure. This is just pure volatiles. And my oxygen is up to 20. Okay, yep. So we have plenty of gas to mix. I'll just leave the gas mix around a little bit longer. And I probably don't need to do anything. Is this empty? No, it's not empty. So I'll just leave everything running. We have a decent amount of power. We've got 3 bars. And we'll go get silver before I forget. And, you know, probably more bottles and oxides. Oh, my suit was already on. Alright, sun's up, so I don't have a lot of sun left before it dips behind Saturn. Damn you, Saturn, stealing my solar power. The horizon's so weird on this this moon as a result of it. That mesa blocks me. Like if I built out here, I'd have another like, I'd have a little bit more solar power as the sun transitions after Saturn. Whatever. I live with what I got. Copper. Iron. Jump. Look for something shiny. So that looks like gold. Coal, iron. Oh, my tracking beacon's off. Alright, I live like at 150. This is how I died. Zarshi Blues! I found it. I only need 5 grams of it. But, I might as well take a little bit more so I don't have to keep coming back. And we'll update the ore scanner so I know when I'm done. Yes, I already had lead in that cupboard that I had excess when I went to go make solder out of iron and lead. So I had plenty of lead stocked. It's smart to stock things in its raw ore form so you can make alloys on demand. Because if you smelt everything, it gets a little more annoying. And yeah, it's already freaking dark. Oh, nitrous. So I said I lived at about 150, so let's wander up the hill at 150. I have so much more silver than I need. Now, if I could find, perfect. If I could find a little oh, that's cobalt, never mind. If I find a little oxide and volatiles on my way back so I don't have to dip into my, like, backup supply, that'd be great. But not at the cost of physically being lost. But this mesa here that is casting kind of that broad shadow makes it pretty easy to find home as a result, because it's a terrain feature that I can even see in the dark. So my home's right there. It's super hard to see, I know, but I can see the lights, the green lights of my logic flickering up there. Tiny, but visible still. See, didn't get lost. All right, how's the system handling? My coolant is 100 degrees Celsius, so that's fine. My water, I've got about 2 liters so far. Yep, it's doing what it needs to be doing, and the stress on the system, most of the nitrous oxide is evaporating. It's subliming, or I don't even know what phase. It's going to liquid to gas, and then floating away. Something. I'm getting rid of it. It's going bye-bye. Okay. I only needed 5 silver, and I don't have any of the right gases to fire up the furnace, so I'll just smelt some. I put in what, 21? Looks like solid generator could use a little love. Let's put 10 in. 13 spare. Oh, I had silver here. Oh boy. Not enough. I needed 5, so I only had 3. How much do I have so far? 6. Okay, that's 1 more than I need. That's fine. Let's go make that suit rack. So that this does not happen. It's floating around, knocking into stuff. Oops. Oh well. A little extra pressure. Most of this system probably filtered now. Ice crusher's empty. This pipe is empty, so this is not needed. I don't have a meter on that pipe for no reason at all, but that's empty, so I don't need that. Oh. Yeah, I need a pipe meter here to know what the pressure is between these 2 filters, because I have them in sequence. My habitat is giving you mixed feelings. On one hand, open and roomy with visible glass walls to see the environment helps alleviate the claustrophobia. On the other hand, the lack of visible indicators of the windows makes me nervous every time you see it. Yeah, it's not obvious that I have windows in. I mean, worst case scenario, I could like flip my visor down and I wouldn't die. But it is... There's not much separating me from the suffocating, horrible, lung imploding death that is the outside. Right? All it would take, honestly, and this is why, like, when you play multiplayer with other people, it's so easy to just crowbar the glass out of a window and oops, everything's dead. All of, like, especially if you have a massively voluminous base and you don't have it compartmentalized, where, like, you have airlocks between, and you can end up losing all of your oxygen all at once, all your hard work, especially if it's a high volume base, and it's just gone. So a suit storage here, maybe I'll just do a suit locker. You can, like, power it up and gas it up. The idea is that you just, like, when you come into a large base, you just shove your suit inside and it's all set. But I'm only really using this as, like, storage. So I don't even need to power it up. I don't need to pipe it or anything. This is just like a dumb storage. So if it's dumb storage, I'll put the locker here. And now if I need to switch suits, like if I die, I can just grab it and it's good to go. But if you hooked this all up, you would be able to, like, refill it. That way you don't have to manually refill. And that makes sense if you have, like, a lot of power and a lot of gas and filtration and all that. But I don't really have systems for that. I don't even really need systems for that, because it's not like... This would be a big deal if you have, like, a lot of players and you have a high demand for, you know, refilling oxygen, filtering out waste. Yeah. But by myself, this is sufficient. The last thing I wanted to do is do the batch water. So that I can end the stream saying that I didn't run out of water, because I have plenty of potatoes. In fact, I'm going to make a refrigerator too. It's a lot of power, but whatever. Fridge small. So that we have semi-shelf stable potatoes. It used to be that, like, when you wanted to keep your food fresh, you would put it in, like, a nitrogen environment and you would cool it, but not super cool it, so that it would, like, simulate freezer burn or whatever. This small fridge... Right, it has a gas. So... The small fridge... has an intake for Atmo, and it uses power to cool, and depending on the gases that you feed into it, it's more efficient. Nitrogen is ideal. I am not currently filtering nitrogen for my base, so I don't really have nitrogen to give it, and obviously the pollutants and carbon dioxide would be worse than even oxygen. So if I'm building a fridge, I don't really have a good place for it. But given that my kitchen table's here... It's hard to... Okay, I think this is the front of the fridge. Given that my kitchen table's here, I'll just put the fridge here. And, damn it, where's the power port? Okay, I think hopping up and down is not going to help me. Let me move it away from the wall. So, I would need a pipe connection for filtered gas. I'm not going to go that far. So the potatoes aren't really any better in there than out here. 4 hours, 1 hour. I mean, I don't even think that's correct, but whatever. It's a fridge. Have a box for food. I'm producing enough potatoes often enough that, like, starvation is not a thing. Plus, I can always pull the potato seeds out, which are self-stable, and then physically replant the potatoes instead. So then I have a stockpile of potato seeds that will not rot. So now I have 2 seeds, which is a smart way of going about it, rather than just having a whole bunch of potentially rotting potatoes. So you just reuse your potatoes instead. But let's go do the water. So I have a place for the potatoes. Now we do the water.
Oxygen low.
And if you wanted a proper refrigerator, you would have like cold nitrogen environment. Vacuum, for game mechanic difficulty reasons, destroys food. So you would think, oh, I'll just put it in like frozen vacuum, but like that's not ideal. So we've got almost 7 liters out of this system. The coolant is hot, but not like killing me. This is obviously very hot water, so let's start passively cooling it down with that radiator. And that will help it condense faster. I didn't lose water, by the way. Some of it shifted into the radiator, so it's the total volume of liquid hasn't changed. It's cooling down, so it's expanding less, I guess, is the way to think about it. So it was pressurized, for lack of a better term, before. And this is holding it at... Okay, I have a decent amount of steam in there. Good. That's what I like to see. While I'm sitting here, the other fridge, the bigger one. Base power usage 250 watts. The Coolant fridge, self-cooling, 15 slots, preserve. Does not work in vacuum. It must shed heat to operate, which is the whole coolant loop. Don't leave the door open, or it'll equalize with the outside. Maybe start to beep. And the dumber, smaller fridge is what? It's a heavily insulated box, which allows you to users to pipe in any desired atmosphere. It says it has base power usage, but like, I didn't see a plug. Is that incorrect information? Is that out of date or something? Let me check the wiki. And I'm not going to go so far as to, like, create a cool nitrogen gas for it. It's not that hard, but that's just like, but one more turn, and I don't need to go there. Wow, the wiki has no concept of a fridge small. Okay, never mind. I was going to try to answer a question, but apparently I'd have to, like, deep dive into like, Reddit or the Steam forums, and no thanks. I'm gonna see about raising the pressure a little bit. If we can drive more liquid into the system to finish faster. Ooh, 36 days without dying. Water's still pretty hot. But now we are allowing 1 MPa in there. One more turn, 1 more hour. Yeah, right. It wouldn't be that hard to do, however, because I have, you know, if I was to wanted to do it, I have moles of nitrogen already in my coolant system. So all I would really need to do is to temporarily siphon the nitrogen from my coolant when it is the appropriate temperature. So not 115 degrees Celsius nitrogen, but like 0 degrees Celsius nitrogen, which this coolant loop already does. And it can have stable nitrogen in this tank, which I have 1.42 kilomoles, which is a lot, plenty for a fridge. And all I would need to do is to hook that insulated tank up to a new atmospheric filter, and then just to put the nitrogen somewhere that then I can feed into the fridge. So it would really just be like 3 pipes, 10 cables, and an atmospheric kit, and 1 nitrogen filter, and it would be done. to talk you through it, but I feel like if I commit to that, it's one of those just 1 more turn type of deals. And the last thing I want to do is the water. If we wanted, while we wait for the water to finish, because I'm not really doing anything else, we can try to tinker with the efficiency here. Oh, my own shadow doesn't change the efficiency. It's like physical objects in the world. So we're at like 90%. When the sun is really low in the sky, the efficiency rating is like less reliable, because when it's low, it's being blocked by like horizon and stuff. So let's try 91. .91 is a good number. We're at 97% efficiency up here, which is like close enough to 100%. Yeah, 98%. Problem solved, I guess. 99%. Doesn't really get much better than that. So there we go. We got almost perfect efficiency dual solars. And that's 186 watts or ish. Changes a little bit, but perfect. That was easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, the solar radiance on Mimas sucks. Sucks badly. Okay. There is no longer any combustion fuel for the combustor. There's no longer any water for the filters. This is the last of the steam, which is 33 moles. That is going through the condensation chamber. The coolant is stable right now at about 111, but it will cool down. And we have made, I don't know, like 10 liters of water. Or when we're done, we'll make about 10 liters. Pretty straightforward. And I don't... don't worry, I have potatoes. I don't really need to do anything here at this point. Like, I'm just waiting for the... Okay, the last of the steam got pulled into the condensation chamber. So the condensation chamber is running out of steam to condense into liquid. As you can see, the pressure is dropping. Once the pressure gets to like 30, I can just like shut it off and vent it out. Because that's not a lot of water loss. I can wait till 0. It's just, there's not much reason to. So that's 7 liters there. And 1.64 liters there. And 5.4. Oh, actually, I made more water than I thought. Because the radiator, the pipe network, and this pipe network has, I don't know, 16 or something. A decent amount of water. So once, let's say we get below 2 moles of I'll just leave it going. Because it will self-correct. Because what's going to end up happening is with less steam to cool, my coolant will cool down, and then all the logic will trigger where the valve turns, the volume pump turns, and then turns off once it's done. So I'd like to see it work one last time. But I've shut down all the things that aren't operating. The combustor that turns oxygen and fuel into water, plus waste gas. The filter, which then pulls the water out into steam and then feeds the waste gas. And this just gets a lot less efficient as the pressure goes down. Where it's not like, for reference, this is like 1 mole of water, whereas in here we have 400, in here we have 300, and in here we have 100. So like losing less than like 1% of our total is not a big deal. Because it's just trickling out now. So forget that. Vent. So now that system is done, which means that my coolant pump will cool and then cycle. And I just wanted to be watching it for that. Trust but verify. Oh, and all of the nitrous oxide is out of my coolant loop. So once this is about 10, the logic will kick it into preserving the coolant mode. And I could run the math of pressures and temperatures to figure out where the liquid point is, and then lower the minimum temperature to trigger the floodgates or the pumps, so that our coolant is even colder. Whatever. It works. I'm just trying to keep the water from boiling. It doesn't need to be perfect. But we should see the pump kick on any second now, because it's just around the 10 mark. And when that happens, the pressure will dramatically drop, because yep, there it is. So the valve turned off at 10 degrees. The pressure, the turbo pump turned on. It is sucking all of the gas left in this now isolated coolant loop back into our insulated tank. And at the end, we should have coolant at about 9 Celsius, 8 Celsius, something like that. All right. This water still needs to chill. Honestly, more radiators would have made a lot more sense. I stopped at 1, but like 3 would be fine, because it's not like it's getting cold so quickly I can't manage it. So we'll go inside, refill our water and our food, because I don't want to like die waiting for the filters to finish. And then go back out and flush the water. I actually want to make the water extra cold this time around, and the reason is the base got a little warm. So shoving a bunch of extra cold water into the system will chill the base a bit. So that's my like ghetto air conditioner. Oh, and there it goes. The pressure hit 0, so the pump turned off. Thank you, Logic. You are wonderful. It's imperfect, but if it works, it's good enough. Okay. Potatoes are in here, yeah. Yeah, the others are not seeding yet. Bon appetit. Maybe I'll make a baked potato for myself once I'm done streaming. Sounds good. Although I had potatoes yesterday. I had pasta that had roasted sweet potatoes in it. All right, before I go back out to manage the water, do I need propellant? Kinda. So let's swap. And finally, it's my original white tank. I've been trading. Normally, you would like color code them. The thing is, spray paint has a propellant, which is like not great to introduce to your base. So you usually don't want to do a lot of spray painting while you're inside, because you will be polluting your base a bit. Not terribly, but like not ideally. Hey, Bit Back Tacos, so big. Thank you for the resub. You're almost hitting a year. All right, other things to do before I go back out for the water. Let's get a fresh battery. And I want a shower, but like I didn't hook up a shower. Shower is pretty straightforward. You put clean water in, you get dirty water out, you clean the dirty water with charcoal in a water purifier. So this is how to fix the hygiene faster, but even taking off your suit is good enough for the most part. So a shower is, well, powered or unpowered, but water in, dirty water out. So the polluted water then has to be purified, and the water purifier is very straightforward, where it's just filled with charcoal. And charcoal is something that you can make in a furnace by heating biomass in a furnace. So you can, you know, furnace it or whatever. You can use your potatoes. There's a bunch of different ways to make biomass. Biomass, like, I honestly usually accidentally make. So making it on purpose is kind of easy. Not seating yet. Okay, that's pressurized enough. So let's go back out and check on our water, because that's what we're waiting on. Boiling dirty water also works, which is pretty neat that they thought of that. Yeah, what's funny about that is, like, unless you're actually distilling it, that wouldn't really, like, heating up dirty water makes hot, dirty water. You have to actually then capture the steam and distill it. But yeah, I get your point. That's a little extra complicated than it needs to be. All right, so what is the temperature of water now? Still a bit too hot. I want to bring it down to like 10, like 5 degrees or something. So let's make a radiator. One more radiator. I have a bunch of pipe installations, so I don't need to even make the pipes. I just need one radiator. And that will double the cooling potential, which, let's just do that. I probably should have checked what it even costs. Because it is copper and Invar, so I need to go get Invar. Maybe I'm like 2. Because waiting for the water temp is annoying, and it is very fixable. So tripling the capacity should work. My character's completing hygiene, so while we print up, I'll just strip off my clothing. These also need, what, 1 steel sheet per? So here's 6 steel sheets, that should do. Oh, don't I need a liquid one? You're right. I was making gas ones. Thank you! Someone's been streaming a bit too long. Medium liquid. radiator. Well, if I wanted to up the capacity of my coolant loop, I now have a 6th. Sure. I don't know if I have normal pipes, though. But, like... why not? I would only need, like, a few normal pipes to put this to use. So, I'll correct that mistake. By the time I'm done with this, the water will be the correct temperature. It'll be, like, starting to turn to ice, and I'll be like, dope! Okay, hygiene's fixed, because I stripped. And I'm already wearing my helmet. Perfect. I did need normal pipes, actually. Potentially. I forget if I have them out there. So, like, 3... oh, more of my iron's in here. I do have it in outside storage, just don't know how many I have. So I'll just print some extras just in case. Alright, let's first attend to the water. And then if the water's fine, we'll attend to the, I'll install the other radiator. Which will go right here. So water temp, what you at? Nope, still too hot. So they're both the not convection but regular. And I ought to watch the temperature of the water closely because it's going to go a lot faster downwards. By design. And this is so that when I'm making batched water, I don't have to, like, wait an eternity to have it done. I'm also going to make more volume capacity to the filter area. Although having this be insulated kind of is pointless, but whatever. Ran out of pipes. It's not quite all the way there, but theory is there at least. So it's one contiguous circuit. And that's at 20. So, yep, I can walk away from this briefly to hook this up. There's no gas in there, but the coolant loop now is a little stronger. And there's more plumbing to be potentially added if I want it to, like, be a full looking loop. Just for the aesthetics mostly. Alright, 16. And again, the reason I'm doing this is the base got a little warm, and if I push a bunch of cold water into the tanks that have radiators on it, I get to cool my base. So that's why I'm bringing this down to, like, let's say 5 degrees or so they can act as a water-cooled base. And to do that, I would just need to flick this valve, turn on this turbo pump to bring the liquid back into this, and then turn on this turbo pump to push it into the base. It's manual, but, you know, I don't do this frequently. I've done this. This is my, like, 3rd major batch. So it's not something I have to do constantly. And I could, of course, set this up with automation the same way I did the this stuff if I wanted to. But because this turns on and off so quickly, and water is so precious, for now at least it's worth watching. it's worth monitoring. So we're down to 13 Celsius. And my coolant is at 9 degrees Celsius. So when we decide the threshold to stop chilling the coolant is at 10 degrees Celsius, and it doesn't even drop a full degree before I stop cooling it. That's how good the system is. It's a tolerance of 1 degree Celsius. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's pretty solid. That would work for, you know, for science, I think. And there's my base water at 30 Celsius, which has equalized with the room. So the room right now is at 29.9, and I'd want it to be more like 25. So pushing a bunch of cooler water in there should help. I don't know by how much, but we're about to find out. How's my station battery? It's fine. Whoa! Okay, I jumped a little hard. I like how sometimes when you jump, it's like a mini jump, and then sometimes when you jump, you're just like, to the moon! Well, okay, I'm on the moon, but to a different moon! To Titan! Or something. Alright, it's 9 Celsius, and it's 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So there's 7 liters in the radiators. There's 3 liters here, so that's 10, and then there's another 3.5 liters, so that's 13.5 liters of water or so. Just like napkin math. And we'll wait till like 5 Celsius. That's a cool shadow. And the logic to automate this would be almost identical to this. Basically, you set a Kelvin threshold, and then when Kelvin threshold is met, close a digital valve, flood this pump, and then you can then flood this pump too, or yeah, so whatever. It's pretty straightforward logic. It just requires a lot of chips to do. Water moves much because there's a very finite volume. Water moves a lot faster, so I can wait at like 5. It's not going to freeze necessarily. So done. Plus, it's stable in this pipe. It won't change. So some of it, as you can see, is freezing, but there's not a lot of actual liquid left in there, mole-wise. So there's a tiny bit of, like, mole loss because the gas didn't make it back. But, yep, this volume pump is done. The only difference is if we did automate it, we'd have to check the the liquid volume pressure here, not all volume pressure, because there's some leftover gas that didn't make it back. And now we have 5.8 Celsius water, 14.4 liters of it, 800 moles of it, that then we can flush to the base. Oop. And it goes pretty much instantly, because this is a finite volume that doesn't, it purges quick. So now, you can see that water warming up, which is exactly what we wanted to do, because the water is now equalizing through these 5 radiators, these passive radiators, equalizing with the base's temperature. So let's go see the result of our labors to see what temperature we reached. You love that solar tower? Yeah, I like how it's just a skew. It's like, well, the sun is screwy on this moon, so we're just gonna make it askew. If it works, right? Where did this get extra gas? How did this get so pressurized? I mean, it's not risk of, like, rupturing or anything. There's, like, liquid pollutant in it. That's funny. Yeah, somehow I, like, added volume to that, because it didn't used to actually pressurize that well. Alright, so now the water has gone up about 1 degree Celsius, and the base has gone down 1/3 of a degree Celsius. So it ain't perfect, but it is working. And we have 13 liters here and 7 liters there, so I have about 20 liters of water available to me. This 7 is reserved, of course, for potatoes. Which, given the amount of potatoes I currently have, I'm not exactly sure I need to do a whole lot of replanting. But it wouldn't hurt to just, like, stockpile seeds. For, you know, emergency replanting or something. Like if you had some sort of base explosion. Now, if the base did explode and set on fire, you would want those seeds stored not in the thing that blows up. So, like, if you were really trying to have a failsafe, you would store the seeds away. Because that's a finite resource. Everything else in the base, more or less, can be made again. There's nothing that I can't just remine, right? It's everything I can make, but I can't print seeds. So these are the only thing that I can't make more of. I can grow more of, but if I got rid of them, I couldn't mine them out of the ground again. So it's kind of important to take care of your seeds as a result. There we go. This has gone up another degree, and the base has gone down another 1/3 of a degree, so it's roughly a 1-to-3 ratio or something like that. It's not perfect. I don't really care. The point is, the temperature is no longer climbing upwards, and if I wanted to cool it down again, all I would need to do is to turn this turbo pump on to the left, put the water back in here, cool it down, and then pump it back. So it's water cool on demand. As long as there's water in the system, I can just keep re-cooling it with the outside radiators. So it's a system that is reusable in that way, as long as there's water in it. That's the caveat. But yeah, we've almost cooled down a full degree Celsius. So obviously this is a functional. I had never tested it for this purpose, but it's obviously a very functional system to counter the slow heat creep that you have. Because everything that is powered on in here, like this pipe analyzer, this APC, these battery chargers, anytime I turn on a, hell, even potatoes, growing potatoes produce heat. If you have a giant greenhouse, that thing's cooking. It's not realistic, but that's just the way the game works. Plants give off heat and oxygen. So, all bases that are in a closed system have a slow heat creep that you need to counter. And this is my heat creep counter, which is the water cool. And it works well for the amount of heat I'm producing. Now, if I produced a lot more heat in the base, if I had a lot more plants or a lot more electrical things that were on, or, you know, realistically, I could even keep my IC logic outside, because that would help to counter some of the heat. I don't know how much heat it puts off, but, like, I know that basically everything that uses electricity produces heat, because that's just, you put heat, electricity through conduit or through metal. It, you know, it will radiate out. But regardless, yeah, we've gone. It's safe to say that if I wait long enough, the water cooling system will bring the temperature of the base down. It's gone down 0.9 degrees Celsius, but it will bring it down another, 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, and the lovely potatoes would be very happy as a result. I think, friends, this is where I'm going to end the marathon. On the right around the 13-hour mark, having very obviously created a base which is self-sufficient, scrappy, rugged, with no IC code. I've survived 37 days, as you can see right there. I haven't died once. I have all of the protocols set that if I did die, I could recover. It's recoverable. I have a spare tank, spare helmet, spare jetpack with fuel, oxygen, filters, everything. I've got a base with, like, enough strategic resources that I could, like, put some stuff back together, because if you don't, one of the other spare things to have that just occurred is, like, at least a pick, right? So that you can start mining. Because there is a situation where, like, if you had no physical materials in your base, no ores, no ingots, rather, and you died and you lost your tools, if you don't have the means to then start acquiring new ore, you could be in some sort of death loop where like you can't just punch rocks in this game like your Minecraft Steve or whatever. So like if I really wanted to make sure that that wouldn't happen, I would put my mining pick in this mining belt rather than my standard mining belt, which is actually really easy to do. So here we go. Just in case I somehow lost my tools, there. Now my old mining belt has the mining pick so that I couldn't ever be in a, oops, you can't actually get resources scenario. But yeah, we did it. We have done Stationeers on Mimas, on Brutal, on Stationeer difficulty relatively well. Janky, but relatively well. And that, friends, is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon, one time only. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. I asked for no backseating for the series, and also, because this streamed one time only, feedback wouldn't be able to be incorporated anyway. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com also has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits. So thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.